finances has made it so that the Hilux can't be done straight away anyway. So I want to have something to take to shows. So I decided potluck. We're hoping potluck will go together quick. There's a show I want to have it at. The show is in 76 days. I just thought I'd get together what I have here. We can talk about the pieces that I do have. We can talk about pieces that I don't have. And we'll see how this goes. Alright, so I'll start with the obvious. Engine. We have the 350 olds, which has always been earmarked for this job ever since I came up with the concept, and this engine is actually the reason for this car. I've had this engine lying around for 20 years, never had anything to do with it. It's not doing anyone any good sitting in the corner of my garage. Nobody wants to buy it, so I decided to build a hot rod. The chassis is an 86 Hilux chassis, so it is the exact same chassis that's in the Hilux, under the Hilux. When I started building that, I actually bought a second one for spare parts. I sold a lot of parts that I didn't need. I used the parts that I did need, obviously, and that left me with a chassis lying around that I tried to sell that nobody wanted. So now I have an engine that nobody wants, I have a chassis that nobody wants, I'm a body away from a hot rod. So that started the search. What can we find? So, as you know, we found, anyone that follows the channel, if you're new to the channel, we found this 42 to 47 jail bar cab. Now it is in pieces. Bring the camera. We have our cowl, which is literally just balancing here at the moment, held up by a fence plank. We have the back of the cab, which is literally balancing here, held up by the broom at this point in time, but I was trying to see dimensions. We have 3 sections of the roof. Getting all of this back together into one piece is going to be a bit time consuming. Somebody has started to do a roof chop on it. They haven't done a very good job, so I'm going to have a lot of fun fixing someone else's muck around. The doors are pretty good. The bottom of the doors aren't great, but we can work with them. They haven't been chopped yet, so I'm not going to touch the doors until I get the cab right. Once I know the height of the cab, then I will be chopping the doors. The next thing I chased up, I was thinking we've got the Turbo 400 transmission. That does need some work, like the engine. The engine's going to need gasket kit. The transmission, I'm pretty sure, needs a front pump and a gasket kit. I do have another transmission, which I'm pretty sure has dead bands. I have 2 Turbo 400s. One has dead bands, one has a dead pump. Which one's which, I don't know, but this one will bolt to that engine, so we're using this one. So we're going to have to pull that apart, find out what's what, put it back together. Next thing that we actually sourced for this was the front end. I was never a fan. I was going to do the leaf spring front, which would have put the axle way too far back, in my opinion. So I went searching for a front end, a hot rod front end. I managed to find this knee suspension that is off a 1949 Vauxhall. Now obviously these aren't the hubs, these are Commodore trailer hubs that I've bought because I have Commodore brakes, so I'm going Commodore hubs, which means I'm going to have to go Commodore wheels, but I'm going to have to get creative to get clearance so that the wheels don't hit the swing arm. So we've got suspension for the front, we've got the springs from the front of this chassis, which I will be using at the rear. We have a steering column, which came from the same 1949 Vauxhall. Still have the remains of the chassis from the Vauxhall. So I bought this chassis with that steering column and that front suspension for 80 bucks. Couldn't argue with the price. A friendly wreckers gave me these Commodore rotors and calipers, so we're just going to have to make up bracketry to make them fit that front end once we get all our clearances right. Diff, I've had this 9-inch that I was given when I bought my HQ Monaro. I've never been too pleased about the welds and the positioning of these brackets that are on this. They don't look great. I was never a fan. I looked into having them redone properly on a jig, and it turns out that I can buy another housing cheaper than I can have this one fixed. So we need a diff for potluck. I have a 9-inch housing. I do have a 9-inch centre and axles somewhere at this point in time. I can't find them, which leads me to believe that I put them in storage. I'll go to my storage in the next couple of days and see if I can find them. The next one, I had a really specific idea for the rear. I already had access to these tyres. So I wanted something that I could put these tyres on. Now these are 305/50 20s. So I went looking for a set of 2010 and a halves that I could put them on. I found these wheels. This is going to look really cool. It's going to give it some awesome rake. When I bought these, I did get the one front wheel and a 20-inch. But I've lent it up against that for a couple of photos. It looks really stupid. I only have the one. I'm going to have to find two or something anyway. So I'm going to get in contact with some of my wheel people and see if we can't find a 17 or an 18-inch to go on the front. That sort of kind of in a fashion matches these things. I got this radiator out because it's lying around. I know that it doesn't leak from the core, it leaks from the tank up here. So I'm thinking liberal amounts of silicon. We may be able to use this tank. We might not be able to use it. I don't know. It's out of a 2002 Vectra. It's actually out of my mum's car. It had major overheating problems because it wouldn't stop leaking. If I use it the way that I'm going to mount it, they'll be at the top, so they'll be easy to monitor anyway. Made a new friend yesterday who wrecks cars. We're missing, we'll talk about bits we're missing now. So we're going to missing bits. So we're missing front wheels, we're missing rear brakes. Now, I'm not going to go chasing rear brakes until I know exactly what's going on with this diff. If I can't find the parts for the diff, it's pointless chasing brakes for that setup, but we will be going 4-wheel discs. Next, we don't have an exhaust. I'm going to raid a scrap bin and an exhaust place. I'm going to bring stuff back. I'm going to make an exhaust. This isn't going to be registered, it's not going to be engineered, so I'm pretty sure the exhaust is just going to finish here. It's not going to have much in the way of exhaust, but I don't have pipes to suit this, so we're going to have to make something. I don't have a floor. This gets me back to my friend. I made a friend yesterday, Rex Cars, has a written off Mitsubishi Lancer shell. The roof is damaged, the front shock towers are damaged, the floor is good. He's giving me the whole shell for free once he's finished parting it out. We're getting a Mitsubishi floor. What else are we missing? We don't have a radiator shroud, or a radiator surround. I have a couple of leads. Things came up. I wasn't able to chase those leads, but I will be going back to them this week. But there's going to be a lot of videos coming really quickly. I want to try and have this at the Rockabilly pool party on the 8th of February at Gambaya World. We'll see how we go. We'll give it a red hot crack.